Welcome back to another Bokeh Showdown. In this video, we're going to be comparing the fastest Canon and Nikon 50mm lenses currently on the market for full-frame DSLRs. So you might have seen before I did a comparison of the Canon 50mm 1.2L lens and the Nikon 50mm 1.2 manual focus lens. Obviously, Nikon don't make a 1.2 in autofocus. It pisses off a lot of Nikon manufacturers. But for those of you who are saying this nonsense about Nikon mounts aren't big enough to support it, it's not true. They still make them brand new. You can buy this 50mm 1.2. It just doesn't have autofocus, which does kind of make it a little bit annoying as a Nikon owner because Canon have all of that stuff. But today we're going to add insult to injury. You want to bring that one in? I've got my certified lens girl today. Here we go. Look at that size difference. That is a 50mm f1. What a monster. You can't buy these anymore. You can pick them up used, but it's an absolute colossus of a lens. Let's compare the three in terms of specs and size.
The Nikon 50mm f1.2 is beautifully built, but it's quite tiny. You can buy one new for about $700 in the States, and it's simple construction. It only has 7 elements in 6 groups. It's still got the aperture dial, and everything on it is fully manual, and it's got just a beautiful feel. But comparing it to the Canon 51.2 autofocus, you see just how tiny it is. But as big as that differential is, they both pale in comparison to the 51.0. Let's bring that fella in. Boom. It's the same size as the 85 1.2. It is actually the same body, but the front glass element is just colossal. No surprise why this 1.0 is so expensive. It has 11 elements in 9 groups and 2 biospherical ground elements rather than molded elements. And it has 4 super low refraction elements. Now, these are all beautifully built lenses, but keep in mind the Nikon, you're looking at $800, the Canon 1.2, $1,600, and the f1, if you're lucky enough to find one used, you're looking anywhere from $4,500 to $8,000.
So, the Bokeh Showdown series is all about the blur. I don't care about sharpness or aberrations or vignetting or any of that stuff, even usability or value for money. Just the blurs. Let's check it out. All right, this is a Bokeh Showdown, so who gives a crap about f2.8? Straight to wide open, 1.2. Let's see the scene here. Ooh, that nice little rim light she's getting is just fortuitous. It's coming off that building over there. Let me show you where that's coming from. Which is reflecting the sun from over yonder.
Okay, let's take a look at them one after the other. There's the Canon 1.2 at 1.2. There we are with the Nikon. Now that's obviously cooler, but you'll notice the rim light has gone there as well, so the lighting changed slightly. Now going to the Canon f1. There it is at f1.2. There at f1.1. And then there at f1.0. So it's a subtle change, but with different backgrounds, that's going to become more pronounced.
Okay, let's take a look at what it does with some background lights. Here we're in Kimber Lane in Chinatown. Let's compare each of the lenses at f1.2 and then one with this bad boy.
I should mention I'm shooting the Canons on the 1DX and the Nikon on the DF. There we are with the 1.2 lens from Canon wide open. And now let's look at the f1 lens. There it is at f1.2 and then they're wide open at 1.0. You can see an obvious softening of the background lights on that one. And then here we go taking a look at the Nikon. Again, an obvious different color cast. And if we come right in close, you can see it's ever so hard to get sharp focus, especially with the manual focus, but paper thin depths of field. But of course, if we back it up and get a more full-length shot, it's easier to get your subject in sharp focus and still keep the background really blurred out. And there we are at f1.
Oh, damn. How do you do that to me?
Let's check them out in video performance.
So at f1, you can see it does flare like a bitch, but it's something else. Look at that bokeh in the background. Damn. That's what $8,000 worth of glass buys you, kids. Watch out for that bus! Nah, I'm just fucking with you.
Notice though, there is the slightest amount of onioning in some of that bokeh.
1.2, that's as fast as we go with that bad boy. Still pretty nice, but nowhere near as bokalicious as the F1. There's another bus. Bus! Squirrel! But you can see a lot less flaring on this guy. A heck of a lot less.
And here we go, some footage from the Nikon. Oh wait, we took the DF, so there's no footage. Balls. But look, looking at the images all side by side, I gotta say, there's something otherworldly about the f1.0. It does flare, and for some people that will ruin the impact of the bokeh, but for others that would actually enhance it, I think. The Nikon, because it's so difficult to get focus, it's a bit difficult to use, but that's something to keep in mind for a full review. In terms of its bokeh, it's beautifully soft, and it's definitely the bargain of this group. But overall, I kind of think I prefer personally the f1.2. The bokeh is almost as creamy, but without those flaring and other aberrations, which for me kind of intrude on the scene a little bit. Big thanks to DigiDirect for loaning me the 1.2 for this video, and to Peter Eastway for loaning me his 1.0 lens. Links are in the caption. Love to hear your thoughts. Leave any questions or comments below. Click the like, subscribe, and share. See you soon.
And here we are with Jade at f1.2 on the 1.2 lens. It's still really nice. Here we are at 1.8. It's not as nice as the other one. Blah, 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 blah. I can't sing for shit.